Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Helena Mbuthia. This is Wasabiz and I make weekly videos. Today's video I'm going to address like some DMs I got, yeah? And I think I got a really mean one last week. Someone telling me how they feel like I'm glorifying entrepreneurship without telling the truth about it, or they feel like what did they say? The word was they feel like I am making employment feel like nothing in society, hence misleading the youth. Something in those lines anyway. So I'm going to be addressing that, looking at why I started this channel and what I hope to achieve with this channel, and also addressing, am I really against employment? Does talking about entrepreneurship means that you're against employment? So enjoy the video, subscribe if you still haven't. Let's start this. To start, for me, I think it's, and I'll just put it out there, can we just stop focusing so much on comparing which one is better, entrepreneurship or employment? They both have their perks, they both have things that entrepreneurs enjoy the most about just running their own companies, and things that employees rather enjoy being employed. So you can't compare. And the thing for me, and something that I really believe, is that entrepreneurship cannot survive without employment. Employment cannot survive without entrepreneurship. For you to be employed, you're working for someone needed to start that business. For that business person, for their company to get to where they're even being able to employ, is because they had people who were able to actually actualize their visions and their dreams and their goals and bring them to a full reality. Because you can't do it alone as an entrepreneur. If you're self-employed and you feel like, oh yeah, I don't have a team working for me, so for me, I actually don't see the benefits of employment, I feel like you can't be a business person and not ever encounter an employee. It might not be your own employee, but the supplier you're working with could probably be having employees that he has or that she has, and that way then you get to interact with employment in its fullness. So there's no which one is better, which one isn't. It's more about knowing yourself. What do you enjoy doing? Where do you see yourself thrive? I have friends who, let me tell you, I don't even want to see them in business. If life takes them there, well and good, but I know they thrive so much just being employed by people, and they do really, really well. Then there are people like me who, even when I had my small experience with attachment, guys, and it was community-based attachment, let me tell you, it was a bit clear to me that I didn't want to work in an organization. For me, it was very clear. And so even when I finished, I was like, you know what, I'm not going to take someone else's space in the corporate world when I know I am not fully in it, and then for me it's a bit clear. I take pride that I'm still in my 20s, and in my 20s meaning I'm not married, I don't have kids, and so I can take as many risks as I want. I can choose to take the first years after graduating to see if entrepreneurship is something that I really want. So far, so good. So far, I don't regret the decision I made, and probably that's why I talk more about entrepreneurship and not employment. So if you're new to this channel, watch my first video where I said that I've never been employed. I finished school and knew directly that I wanted to be in business. So for me, that has been it. There are many stereotypes. There are many stereotypes when it comes to business. In fact, the funny thing is, many times I tell people that I'm in business, the first thing I'm told,
it's okay, it's good that you're starting something small to feed yourself or to fend for yourself, because nowadays jobs are scarce, and it's good than just being idle in the house.
That is something I think any young entrepreneur has been told anytime you tell someone you have a business. But do you have the time to go arguing with everyone? No, I'm the one who made this choice. No, it's not because I didn't get a job. No, you take it in and you keep quiet. But again, it tells you how people view entrepreneurship, especially in our country. And I don't think it's actually our country only. I feel like it's everywhere, where there's one that's glorified more than the other one is. So yes, I do glorify entrepreneurship because I do believe in it. The same way someone who believes in employment will glorify employment so as to empower people who will be good at it, and I do so that I empower people who will actually make good entrepreneurs. Point number 2 for me, the reason why I started this channel, or I started Wasabiz in itself, should I call it a brand? In fact, I need to work on this to become a proper full-on brand. And why probably I'll talk more about entrepreneurship is because today, and any entrepreneur will tell you, we're very hard on ourselves when it comes to failure. and failure comes, and let me tell you, it's inevitable. Entrepreneurship is equals to a form of failure in one area or the other. You don't tick everything, and if you thought that's how it is, I am sorry, that's not how it is. You will miss deadlines, you will underestimate your costs, you will overproject your growth, and be discouraged when growth doesn't happen as fast as you thought. Those things do happen in entrepreneurship, but this is the other thing, and this is how I like to look at it, that you also have very small successes, especially as you're starting. For me, a success means even just getting out of your comfort zone to start a business, not knowing if it will be there in 1 year, not knowing if it will be there in 3 months, but trying yourself and testing another side of you, because business brings a side of you that probably you didn't know about yourself. For me, that's a success worth celebrating. And for that reason, for my friends who have businesses, even starting, even those who are not very active in it, let me tell you, I'll give them the platform, and I feel so happy about it. I'm giving them that platform to inspire another business person to share their lessons so far, and even just to tell them, you know what, congratulations that you have that business. It makes me just so happy when I see young business people, and especially the ones I interact with mostly, and some telling me things like, Helena, I didn't even think I'm doing anything in my business. Helena, my business is so small to be highlighted, but thank you for giving it that platform. Guys, it makes me feel, I don't know, it makes me think that we celebrate big things a lot and forget that for the big things to happen, the small needed to happen. So for me, I was very deliberate when I was starting this passion project called Wasabiz, to be someone who actually highlights the small and encourage other people to propel them to greater heights. And so far, it's worked really well for me. It's worked really well for the other business people. I have seen people starting businesses because of stories they've heard from Wasabiz, and it just makes me happy. So yes, I will continue talking about entrepreneurship. If it means more youth empowering themselves, then I will. The other point for me is a bit obvious. We have very many people seeking employment and very few people who are taking the courage to start businesses that will eventually create more employment opportunities. We can't have such double standards where it's okay for you to seek employment, it's okay for you to talk about employment, it's okay for you to say that you went to school for 18 years to chase after a certain career, but it's not okay for you to talk about entrepreneurship on a higher level than it is. The same way we're striving so hard to prepare people with skills that will enable them to fit in certain fields, I think it's time that even us as a country, we start focusing a lot on empowering even the youth to start their own businesses, and to start businesses that will thrive, and to start producing, start selling, not just retailing, but even from the production point from itself, start selling our services. It is the same thing, and that is what for me I strive. And I thank the Lord when I see people actually going after it. I thank the Lord when I see young people from a certain age starting to prepare themselves with skills, because you never know where life will take you. You just never know. So yes, I'll continue talking about entrepreneurship. I'll continue celebrating it, because one, employment needs entrepreneurship to survive, and entrepreneurship needs employment to survive. Two, I'll be big on celebrating small successes from young entrepreneurs, because we can't be saying our youth are our next leaders and the next leaders of this generation and this country, yet when they start taking leadership in small things like their small businesses, we condemn them for it. That can't happen. So for me, I choose to celebrate their successes, and kudos to any young entrepreneur who starts a business. We are many of us. We don't know how well we'll be in the next 5 years, but we continue to do something about it. And three, I'll continue talking about entrepreneurship if it means lowering the rate of unemployment in our country. If it means empowering the youth to give them to give them a greater capacity to change their thinking, that you don't have to finish school and be employed and sit in the house waiting for a job, but instead you can actually start something, then I'll do so. And let's be frank, even many people who are employed have side hustles. So we can't have such double standards that it's okay for people to talk about employment, but then whenever people talk about entrepreneurship, you're told, oh yeah, you're portraying entrepreneurship as such a rosy thing. No one has said it's a rosy thing, but I am glad that anyone notices it's not a rosy thing, but still chooses to go on and to go forward. So my channel will continue telling you the truth about entrepreneurship. My channel will continue celebrating your successes, and my channel will never talk ill about employment, because I also believe in it. Both have to exist for a country to go forward. I really hope that didn't feel like a rant, because it really wasn't. Let's continue talking more about employment and entrepreneurship. At least let's empower both. Let's make entrepreneurship look like something that actually happens in our country, and that is empowering even to the youth. I really do understand that many people believe we go to school for us to be employed after. And so it will take many years for that mentality to change, but at least it's starting. And I pray that because of such platforms, my platform and many others that talk about entrepreneurship, one day it will become a norm for people to say, and even people to have these discussions. So after university, what's your plan? After high school, what's your plan? And when some say, oh yeah, I'm working hard to take this course so that I end up in this field, as an employee, I mean, then people are like, okay. And if another one chooses to say that I am working hard so that I end up in this field as an entrepreneur, then people are like, okay, not like, are you serious? That's what you want? But we say yes, then that is okay. You can do that, just as an employee can choose to go the employment route. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys. First of all, I met a subscriber, someone I didn't know. Everyone like, okay, everyone I meet as a subscriber is a friend of mine, or someone that I know, or someone who knows me. But for once, I met one called Dot from Nakuru. Shout out to you, Dot. Thank you so much for watching my videos, and see you next time.